Hey everyone, it's Mr. Barden here. So today I'm going to be talking about the 5 main synthesizers that come in Studio One 5 Professional. So you may have other ones installed on your device, but these are the 5 main ones that come with the base Studio One 5 software. I have them on my screen right here. In fact, I'll just go away for a second. Those are Impact, Mai Tai, Mojito, Presence, and Sample 1. So I'm going to be talking about each of those, and I've got a track for each on this session right up here. But before we hop into that, if you enjoy the video, enjoy the channel, definitely consider giving it a like and subscribe. YouTube likes those kinds of things. If you have any questions, definitely put those in the comments down below. And if you use this to make anything cool, also share that down below. I love seeing what people make. So, synthesizers. There are, like I said, 5 main ones that come with Studio One. I've got a track for each of them made up right here, and they all have the same MIDI file loaded. The way I implemented them was very easy. I just dragged and dropped it onto a new track, and it made it, and it popped up. We're not going to use this second impact, but that's just how you do it. Just drag and drop it. It makes a new track, or you stick it onto an empty track. I've closed out of the interface, but you can always bring them back by clicking on the little keyboard icon right here. So, boop, there we are. So, Mojito. Mojito is the one I'm going to start with because it is probably the simplest of all of these. Mojito just does one note at a time. So that is very handy. It's useful mostly for bass lines, sometimes melodic lines. It's a little just it has more strengths in the lower end of the keyboard versus the higher. But there's still you can use each of them. There's no rules or anything. The way that I recommend my students check out this synthesizer and really any of them is to get to a preset that they like and then just start tweaking it. So let's just say we've got Gummy. That sounds fun. And that sounds like this. I actually don't like Gummy at all. So let's just go to full on bass. All right, there we are. And so we've got that, and we can adjust various things. The interface for each of these synthesizers is very different, but they all have these knobs and sliders here, and they all control various things. But generally, you'll see an oscillator section, an envelope section, and a filter and effects section. That's generally what you'll find. So you can change up exactly what waveforms are happening. Maybe I want this particular one to have a low fade in and a long release. Maybe I want to just adjust this filter just a hair, and it'll sound different now. And we have that there. And again, we can record and control all of this with MIDI. So just to hear that, let me just solo this track and we'll play it around. So that's that particular one. Mai Tai is very similar, but it does look a little bit more intimidating. But if you kind of just step back and look at it, you'll notice a few things. We've got the oscillator, we've got this is a filter, and technically another oscillator right here. I don't know why I said filter, it's a low frequency oscillator. We've got the effects down here, the envelope over here. It's all the same general stuff. This synthesizer, however, can do 2 or more voices at a time. This one doesn't. It is what it is. Let me find another one. Acid Trip. What happened to my 2 voices at a time? It's always hilarious when it doesn't go to work. There we go. It was just not selected on the right track. So now, sounds kind of like a piano right here, but again, we can play multiple notes at the same time. And again, same kind of process. If you don't know exactly what you're looking for, we can just find one that works. There's a whole lot of them. I won't go through every single one, but you'll more than likely find one that sounds like what you're looking for, and then you can tweak the specifics of that. Again, this video isn't focused on the specifics of what all of these knobs do, though that'll be a future video, but it's, it is useful to know. So if you don't know all that, don't worry. Start with the presets. If you need to tweak a little bit, you can. But I'll be making other videos about what all of this stuff does. But there's plenty of presets for all of these to get you started. And just to hear this one again. And there was that one. That particular melody didn't sound as great on that synthesizer. Maybe it'll sound a little bit better on this one. So Presence is different than Mojito and Mai Tai. Mojito and Mai Tai aren't hiding the fact that they're synthesizers. They sound very synthetic, very computer and electronically generated. Not that either one is bad, but Presence is a little bit different in the sense that it is mimicking more realistic stuff. Of course, the preset I have now is a 8-bit trumpet. Why is that so quiet? It just sounds quiet. Anyways, so we have that there, but if you look through the presets, you'll see it's all, real instruments. Maybe I wanted to do a guitar. We'll do a nylon string guitar. Here we are. I'll do it on this keyboard. You get the idea. And we can adjust all of this stuff, but it'll more so I use my audio effects up here in order to change up my sounds, but rather than tweaking the synthesizer itself. But again, this is very useful for adding real instruments without necessarily needing an actual instrument there. So again, you can check out a bunch. So maybe we want trombone instead, and there's a whole bunch of different effects we can do. You'll notice that there's these red keys here. By hitting these MIDI notes, you'll change what the effect is, and then this gray section are the actual notes. And so on. So we could, again, tweak that. Of course, I pick two that don't have one. There's one. Again, it's just really fun to play with. I got a little distracted there, if I'm going to be completely honest. So again, you can set all of this, but this is very useful for mimicking realistic instruments. And it does multiple notes at a time, just like Mai Tai. So let's hear that one of my little melodic line I just kind of churned out. This one's not very good at all on the trombone sound, so let's just swap that out. Maybe instead of trombone, we'll do we'll do a xylophone. That should work. So again, there's a fairly realistic sounding xylophone. I tend to add audio effects to the presence in order to make it sound a little bit more realistic and like what I want. All right, this last one, and really the last two, are a little bit more complicated. So this is the Sample 1 synthesizer, and we'll just go into default here with nothing loaded. So what this one will do is this will load in an audio sample. It will, take whatever audio file, and you can do all kinds of tweaking and changing to it. We still get the filters, and we can set various envelopes and low frequency oscillators and things like that, just like we've done before, to really customize the sound. But in the end, we're taking just a standard sound and changing the pitch of it so that way we can turn anything into a keyboard sound. So let's look. There's a few presets here. This one's a whole lot more with the drums and things like that. So I don't know, let's do a sitar. So if I play this, that's the sample. Or maybe this one is. No, it's this one. But as we move around the keyboard, again, the pitch of that is changing. And then there's a bunch of stuff. That we can work with. And he's basically just playing through this recorded sound file at different times. Here we can actually see what the root is at D#2. Oh, this one. So here's the original sound. And then we can tweak all of that as needed. So again, this is very fun for if you have other things that aren't necessarily synthesizer based, but you want to be able to play around with their pitch. You can load in any sound file you want. And in fact, you could record something, and let's just do that for fun. Hello. There's my my one there. Oh, did that not save? Hello. So there's my sample. Let's see. Let's just get that. Oh, no, that's for adding a separate sample. Where are we at? Where'd you go? I don't use this one a ton. And that's for adding more samples. Oh, okay. Apparently, it's recording again. Well, I'm going to make a separate video because rather than making you, watch me figure this out for a synthesizer I honestly don't use as much for what I do, I'd rather make slightly less boring content. Just slightly. But generally, you can record sounds into this and it will play them back. This one's not doing it right this second. There we are. This one, oh, I see. This one was saved onto C#2. So I can press, or C#1 and. Hello. So you can see them lit up here. We can actually, can we move that around? I'm just seeing if there's another one. Save. So in sample 3. Okay, apparently it's recording again. So there we are. We can see all of that happening right there. And it's loaded up with these specific samples. Again, I don't use this one a ton, so this is why this is kind of the weakest part of the video. But it's again very, very useful for triggering various sounds and layering them in interesting ways. The one I really wanted to talk about, though, was Impact. And you'll notice this one didn't have a MIDI clip, and I guess I should play the MIDI clip for this one. That was a bad sample. We're gonna, something was really loud at some point. We're gonna just skip over that one and talk about Impact. So Impact is used for drums, and this one I think is a bit more useful. So we've got a virtual drum pad right here. If you have a pad controller, you can utilize that to to trigger different sounds. You can see the MIDI note attached to each one in the corner. There are 5, 6, 7, 8 different banks of these 16 sounds, so 8 times 16 total sounds that you can assign to whatever. You can load in your own samples, which is very fun, and you can just drag and drop those in to your selected one, or you can use a preset, and there are a lot. This one has the most presets of all of the other synthesizers, maybe combined, but it's a lot. And they're all, or pretty much all, drum kits. So let's look at Intense Techno right there, and you'll see that they all popped up. If in your mixer, it'll make a whole bunch of channels for the various drums, but they're all loaded here. I'm not going to pretend to be really good at doing that on the fly, but we can load in all of these samples and record them as needed. And this one, a lot of them have a second bay that'll play some more synthesizer-y stuff. Anyways, it's just fun to mess with, to be completely honest. I tend to get a little distracted when I play around with these, but again, there's a lot of presets, and you can load in your own samples, which is great. So you can check out a whole bunch of different ones. So for what I do, I tend to care less about these other ones up here. This one only has the 2 banks. Like these ones, I tend to care less about those and more about the actual drum sounds. That one was a guy talking in an old recording. But the way what I wanted to get at is, so I'll go through a lot of these and figure out, okay, maybe I wanted that sound or one sound, and I'll find the one that's pretty close, and then I can drag in and edit and basically set the very specific samples. If you have your own sets of drum samples, it's again very easy to build your own virtual kit, and we can then just record what we want to do. So what I like to do is this. And then we'll go again back to the beginning and do the next one, which would be oh no, I don't. We'll do a snare. We'll do this one. That was at a completely different tempo, but I just, it's just a demo, and so on, and just kind of build it up as we go. I hate those open hi-hats on this sample, but anyways, we'll build it there. And just, again, we're going to be building all of this just layer by layer. This is a horrible, horrible beat, but all right. I think you get the idea, most likely. I'm going to make separate videos about more tips for actually recording real musical content that you care about, but this is just, again, a demo of what each of them kind of do, how they sound, what they look like, that was hopefully beneficial for you all. Definitely consider like, subscribe, comment, all the YouTube stuff, and like I said, I'll be making some more in-depth videos probably about each of them. At the very least, definitely how to record better drum content than this, because that was honestly kind of embarrassing. But For this video, I'm gonna end it now before I get distracted by more fun synthesizers, and this goes on rambling and rambling for another 20 minutes. So with that being said, I will see you all the next time that I'll see you. Bye.